Yes, just a quick update. I have been to Walmart, and I found, according to their book, the battery that should be the replacement. And indeed, it looks very similar. It's not quite as long, but it looks to be that it will fit in there okay. And I'm not really concerned, because of course there's that little thing, the hold down thing, to hold the foot down. And then there's a strap that goes around it. So it should be secure. Anyway, the weather is still looking alright, so I'm thinking I will go home and do the swap. One other thing that I do like about this one is it does have places that I believe I could access if ever I want to add distilled water, and I'm not just sure if the other battery, which yes, originally was from Canadian Tire, it's an eliminator, but due to their excellent customer services, I have eliminated them from the picture. Onward. Well, hello. I am back at home. Just in time for the wind to pick up and the rain to come down. So I put the car back on my battery charger. And I will deal with the swapping of the battery later. I'm going to keep an eye, because I think the beginning of the storm is supposed to be, on and off, and then it's going to be pretty terrible and pretty windy and pretty awful, maybe even thunderstorms. But for the moment, it's time to go inside, stay dry. So, to be continued. Well, hello. It's now a couple of days later. We've had a lot of rain, so I haven't been able to install this, but the procedure should be pretty simple now that I have been able to remove the hold down foot thing. Now, both of these things on the battery, as well as the hold down foot thing, require a 10mm socket. On the terminal, they're quite easy to get at, and it should not be very difficult once I get them off to get the battery out. The other thing, I can't even see. It's down in there. I have released it, but, it's down there. So, what I am now going to do is to take my 10mm socket, and it must be 10mm. I did try various other sockets of a imperial measurement size, and they just wouldn't do. Not that there isn't one, I just couldn't find one amongst my tools. So, I am going to remove the terminals, pull out the battery, and get her done. So there is my 10mm wrench, which I have loosened the negative terminal, and I believe it is very important to remove the negative terminal first. Because I see up near the front of the battery there looks to be a ground connector, and it could possibly be something you might accidentally touch the positive terminal to. So anyway, I have loosened this, and then you might find it's a little stiff. You might have to wiggle it. You might have to take a screwdriver and put it in here. But anyway, once you get it wiggling and it's loose, it should come off. And that is what I suggest you do. Take it right off. So here's a shot of the wrench on the terminal, the positive terminal, and you see there is that thing behind it that it might look closer than it is, but I certainly wouldn't want to touch it and cause a short. Anyway, to loosen the battery, you pull the wrench towards you. Now, if I had a socket, this would go much easier. I could just keep going, but I don't have a ratchet thing available at this moment. So, I will wiggle it into position, I think, and then go again. Anyway, but that is the procedure to loosen the terminals. So I have now loosened the positive terminal, and if you look at it, you can see there is indeed a positive marking on it. The other dead giveaway that it is positive is that it's red. Anyway, once again, once you have it to that state, you should be able to give it a little wiggle, if that's what it needs, and take it off. And there, it has been removed. So now the battery should be ready to come out, I think. Alright, the battery is out. Keep in mind, it is heavy. It has two handles that should fold up, at least this one does, but it does take a good oomph to get it out. The other thing you really have to be careful of is to make sure that you have all the wires completely out of the way. For example, when I first went to pull this out, it didn't want to come, and it ended up that this red wire that runs along to the terminal was kind of beside the battery and also jammed into the spare tire, and the battery didn't want to come. But when I moved that wire, it was good. In other words, it's a tight fit. This is the foot holder thing, 10 millimeters, the one that's hard to get at. I'm not sure how I'll be able to get it back in or on. If we go back and look over here, we will find that the replacement battery that I got, which the book said was the right one, is shorter than the other. That may give me a little more breathing room. I'm not sure. Anyway, time to put the new battery in. Well, hi. Interesting. I have the battery in, but it's not sitting nice, and it wants to rock. And I don't know why, so sadly, I think I need to take it back out, see what's going on. So, I have the battery back out, and I was looking to see if something had fallen in that would make it difficult for the battery to sit nice, and I don't see anything there, so I'm a little perplexed. I have run into another little issue. There's this drainage hose that is supposed to fit into a hole on the end of the battery. I really didn't look at it. I kind of forgot about that. But from my positioning here, it doesn't seem to want to fit, so I'm thinking it's a different size, and that is frustrating. So indeed, the hole on the end of the old battery is quite a bit bigger than the one on the new battery. That hose with that connector is supposed to go in, but it doesn't. So at this moment, there's nothing I can do about that, but I think I will look into finding another elbow thing. It's funny because, of course, this is supposed to be the battery that fits here. I am baffled. So I do not have the battery completely secured at all, and the hose is not attached. But I suppose when it's time to remove these little caps and connect it. Black on the negative, red on the positive. They also have a little positive sign and a little negative sign. And connect the terminals and see if the car starts. Alright, so I folded the little handles down, and the terminal is bare. The terminal is bare. I will connect the positive first, followed by the negative. So there is the positive terminal on the battery. There is the negative terminal on the battery. A good sign is that I have seen the clock on the radio light up, which of course it was not when nothing was connected. So now I have to just tighten these things up and then see about that foothold thing down. I forgot one thing. Here is the positive terminal. Here is the negative terminal. I am not going to have the negative terminal attached while I tighten the positive, because I don't want to touch that bolt and have something bad happen. So as you can see, I have the wrench on. I have given it a couple of turns. I put it, remember, 10 millimeters. And this time, of course, you do it towards the front of the car. And you don't want to reef on it so badly that you break something, but you certainly want it to be snug and secure that if you were to grab it, it will not move. Alright, so we have the negative, we have the positive, we have my keys. If I push this little button on here and hold it, the car should start. If all is well. And, oh, there, it's beeping, it's happy, it started. So far so good. I still have to see about securing the battery. I'm going to turn the car off now with the same button. Onward. There is the little hold down foot, and it does seem that even though this battery is shorter, there's a hole for it. So I have the foot in position, Now the challenge will be to actually get the bolt in there. So the bolt is in the 10mm wrench. It seems to fit fairly snugly, and I'm sure there's a trick to this that I don't know about, something I could stick in there. But I'm going to try to get this to go in the hole. I'm not going to film it because there could be cursing. Well, 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 it's a bit of a miracle. The nut, bolt, whatever, did not fall out of the wrench. I was able to get it in. Now I just have to tighten it down. So I have the wrench on the bolt, and of course we turn to the right to tighten. We do. And, sorry about my hand, kind of hard to avoid there. And once again, I would say do it till it's good and snug. But, you know, people always say, oh yeah, just crank it till it snaps and back off half a turn. Yeah, don't do that. Alright, so the nut bolt is screwed and tight. The last thing there is there's this strap. And what you do with it is there's a little clip up here, it's just to hook it onto, and then pull it tight. It's kind of like a thing you'd use if you were traveling and you were tying things down. This may be a small thing, but I think it's an important thing. Do make sure that when you go to put the strap on, that you're not touching any of the wires or pulling on them. That could be bad. It could be. So you got to run it underneath, and run it up. Now I haven't put it on yet, but I will avoid the wires. I shall. And also, I will make sure there are no kinks in this little tie-down thing. Alright, so I have the clip for the tie-down on, and now I need to pull to get this to snug up so the battery is secure. Also, there's got to be careful. This tried to twist on me, and I do not want it to twist. So there's the end here, and you pull it. Now the cable, not the cable, the tie-down thing should snug up. It should. That took a little more effort than I had in mind, because of course this thing has been in position for many years, and in a different position. Anyway, good strong pull, gets it nice and snug. So now the battery is secure, and we're almost done. Now there is this red cap, and it was on the previous battery, but one did not come with the new one, but I'm going to reuse it. There are holes here, and it goes in the holes, and I imagine what it's supposed to do is to protect anything from touching the hot terminal, which is the red one, of course, and this is red. So, thankfully, the red cover fits right into the holes nicely, unlike the drainage tube. And I left this wire where it was, running through the middle. I'm not sure why, but anyway, that's where it is, so that's where I'll leave it. And shaboom! I think we're done. Alrighty, so I have started the car again. It seems to be fine. Of course, here is the old battery. One thing I will do, because I'm curious, is I pulled the sticker off, and I found the place to access the innards of the battery. I'm sure this will also do the same over here. You have to be really careful because there's acid in there. What I'm really wanting to see is the level in there down? And is that what caused this battery to fail and me to have to replace it? And, you know, possibly, is it possible that if I had just added distilled water, remember, it must be distilled water, available at most grocery stores and other such things, because a lot of people with CPAP machines use them, and I think I used to use them in irons. Anyway, at some point soon, I will open that very carefully on a flat surface with great care and check. And if you're not at all sure if you want to do this, then don't do it. Take the battery to the store, trade it in, be done with it. Shaboom. So, the battery is done. I'm now going to take the battery charger and put it away. To summarize, be careful. And it only takes a 10mm socket with an extension, and then of course you have to deal with the little strap. Use patience. Always connect the negative terminal last. When you're connecting the positive terminal, don't have the negative one connected already. You know, if you don't have a socket extension, and it should be, I think, 9 or 10 inches long. Get one at whatever store you think would be good. Oh, and the main thing is, don't forget this, the back hatch is only opened and closed when you have power. If you take the battery out, like say you went to the store and you took the battery out, took it in, and came out thinking you're just going to open the hatch again, you're not. It will not open. I did not get a chance to test it with just a battery charger on it. My advice would be, close it, but make sure you've got something like a pop bottle or something in the way so it does not secure, because if it latches, God help you. Anyway, hopefully I never have to do that again. So this is David Bradley signing off. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Bye for now.